I think it really just depends. This is a $10 record, but I'm giving you what I would do for like a $20 record for sure. Hello everybody, welcome to Commonwealth Flipper. My name is Kevin, and as you can see by the title here, it says the correct way to ship a vinyl record. I'm saying that slightly tongue-in-cheek for two reasons. One, I've already done that video here. Let's take a look. I did that video right here, and as you can see, I was a novice because look, I'm holding the record like that, and a lot of you vinyl people out there are like, well, just looking at the thumbnail, I'm not going to watch this guy do it because he doesn't even know how to hold them right. I'm a slight bit ashamed of that video, to be perfectly honest with you. I watch it and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is not how you do it. And I'm a novice. I was a novice back then. I'm a little bit better now, but that put me on a journey. I don't sell records very often, and I just happened to buy a giant lot of records, not in terribly good condition, but at the right price. And I take a lot of them into my antique booths and sell them in there. But I do sell some in here, and I'm planning on selling some over the next weeks and months. So I figured, you know what, I got to do this again. I've had some vinyl folks watching the show and giving me tips here and there on what I do right and what I don't do right. So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to make the correct way to do this. I'm going to make that video. And interestingly enough, I had set out and I watched like 8 or 10 videos on this very topic. And not one single video did it the same way. I'm like, well, there is no correct way. And I think that's partly true. I think depending on what you're selling, the price of what you're selling, the quantity of what you're selling, who you're selling it to, what you've claimed the record is in your listing, all of those factors come into play. But the biggest factor is, what does the buyer want? So if you're going to be selling really expensive records, I think you should probably be selling them and be shipping them in a certain way. I'm going to give you a couple options today. And I want you vinyl folks out there to critique me even more. Maybe I'll do another video in 2 years, even better than this one. I'll finally get it right. But I think the key is, if you want to sell records, you need to A, learn them, and I don't know them very well. And then B, you need to know how to grade them, and I don't do that very well either. So at least I can do is learn how to ship them in a way that somebody might come back and buy again. Even though in reality, most of the records I sell are going to be pretty low priced. I'm not going to put a ton of effort into a record that I'm selling for $4, for instance. But I would, if I'm going to sell a record for $25, take a little bit more time. So I've bought a bunch of stuff here, and I'm going to walk you through how I would approach it as not really a person that sells records. And you record folks out there can critique me, and we can all look in the comments, and maybe some of us novices out there who are afraid to buy records, afraid to sell records on eBay, maybe we can feel a little bit more comfortable doing it in the future. Let's take a look. All right, so I've sold this record right here. It's in okay condition. I think it was $10 plus shipping. So this isn't in bad condition. The vinyl itself is in pretty good condition. I'll open it up and show you in just a second. But I want to show you a few things really quick. I've done a little bit of research on this, and here's what I find. And obviously you can buy these at cheaper rates the more of each that you buy. So these are fairly comparable to what you can get. You can find better deals out there, of course. So here we go, 100 of these, $20. So we're looking at 20 cents a piece for these vinyl record inner sleeves. And I think in the future, I've bought so many records now, a lot of them are just absolute junk. And instead of getting rid of them or donating them, I steal the inner sleeve and save it for another record. And here are the fillers, the cardboard fillers, which I don't think are entirely necessary. You can knock this cost out. We'll talk about this. Here are the sheets that are going to go over the top of them, the protector sheets, and then the boxes themselves are roughly 50 cents. So I totaled all this up. If you're going to use all of these to send something, and a lot of times this is not necessary because it already has one, and sometimes it is even though it has one. We'll talk about that. $1.36 is the cost for just this. Not the cost of shipping. It's the cost of supplies. So I think it's reasonable to say in your listing, hey, I'm going to ship it this way, I'm going to take care of it this way, and this is going to be, you know, my shipping isn't going to be $2.80 medium mail. It's going to be, you know, $3.80 or $4. And I think that's fairly reasonable depending on the record if you are going to ship it this way, which it's going to recoup some of this cost, but I don't often incur all of this cost Sometimes I don't use this. A lot of times I would not use this, and I would use something that I would make on my own. Just take some old cardboard and cut it out, depending on the record. Like I said, if it's a $6 record, I'm not going to use 50 cents in filler. I probably will just cut some out. Although that takes time as well. And time is money, and that's a consideration as well. So at any rate, let's take a look at how I might do this. And again, $1.36. If you minus the fillers, you're down to 86 cents. I gotta think, I'm a history teacher, y'all. Okay, if you minus this, you're down to 66 cents. So there we're talking about a reasonable, you know, if you're charging $3.33, it costs $2.80, you know. Okay, we're almost covering the fees, and we're in the right spot. So I think this is almost always a necessity, unless it's absolute junk, bottom of the barrel. I think I would almost always put that on there. When I didn't sell as many records, I would just slide one of these on it. These are actually cheaper if you buy them in the bulk. I do. I buy them like by the 500s, and I wouldn't buy these by the 500s because I just don't sell that many records. So, all right, let's take a look at this, and then I'm going to put the camera up here, and we'll run it out. All right, I pulled this one out, and you'll notice there's already a split right here in this one, as you can see, because it's a top loader. You're going to load it from the top. I believe it is anyways. Yeah, you put it in this way. But this one you want to keep in good condition. So I would consider, hey, let's put this one in a sleeve. Let's take this out and put this on top of this into this, and then we'll package it all up like that. So that's what I would do based on what I've seen from a lot of the experts. That's what I would do. Even though this one has a protector already, an inner sleeve, we're going to put it in a different inner sleeve. If this is plain Jane, boring inner sleeve like this one, then we're not going to use this expense. We're just going to keep it in here. All right, just to check out this record. It obviously isn't perfect, but again, I am not a record grader. I don't claim to be. But I still would like to keep what I am selling, at least in the condition that they see it in the pictures to some degree. So when it shows up, they're not looking at it thinking, this isn't even anything close to what I saw in the pictures. All right, and again, I think it really just depends. This is a $10 record, but I'm giving you what I would do for like a $20 record for sure. So first thing, you're going to slide the record into this inner sleeve that I've bought, or I've taken out of a bunch of records that I'm just donating to Goodwill because they're just in such poor condition. Or, by the way, you can take those records that are in really poor condition and just stack them up in the corner and sell them off as a craft lot. People make things like chip bowls and stuff out of them, or they'll decorate for a dance or something. So you don't have to donate them. But if you are going to do the lot of records, at least take the sleeves out and you can recycle those. These happen to be brand new, and yes, there are affiliate links to all of these products below, of course. And so I'm going to take this thing out so that I don't split this inner sleeve, because this inner sleeve actually goes with this. It's just not a generic one, and it's already got a little splitting in it right here. And so a trip in the post office, you know, media mail, might split this thing even more, or split this as well, even though this one looks like it's in pretty darn good condition considering. All right, this is, I would just take this right here. You can either put it beneath this or above it. I'm just going to put it on top, and then take the inner sleeve there. And we're going to put all of them in here. And here's the opening over here, I think is where it is. So I'm going to make sure that opening's not the same opening as this. I'm just going to go ahead and put them in here. Got that one. Then I'm going to use my filler, and the grain, you can always tell the grain on these are going one direction, so I try to change the grain to reinforce it just a little bit, just in case it kind of gets bent or something, which probably won't happen with these to begin with. I'll set that there. Do the same with this. And I forgot to do one step. Let's do it real quick. Pre-bend it. I like to pre-bend these. Takes 2 bends. One there. Depends, unless you're doing multiples. I like to pre-bend it because once the record's in there and I start to push down on it, I don't want to put that pressure on it. So pre-bend it at the bottom, and then pre-bend it whichever length. In this case, with the fillers and 1 record, it's going to be right here. With 2 records, it would be a little higher, or 3. A double LP. There you go. So those 2 are done, and you can do the same here if you wish, but these aren't as important as those. So let's go ahead and put it in. fold these down first. Keep it square if you can. A lot of times these like to slide in, so that looks pretty square to me. There you go. Take this one up. Now we should have a nice square in there. Sometimes they want to come in a little bit too much. There you go. All right. So that is how a non-vinyl guy ships vinyl. Let me know what you think. Now, if you want to make sure just to protect against any moisture or something, you can also get these sides right here and just do it down like that, and it keeps it square, so that's always a good idea. And I'm an over taper, so I might even put one more. And you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put my stickers in there. So if you want repeat customers and you're proud of how you've shipped something, you know, throw in something where somebody can come and find your shop, come and find your eBay store. They'll say, you know, hey, I like how that guy shipped that stuff. Maybe I'll feel comfortable buying from him again. Or they'll be like, that guy sold me a piece of junk record. At any rate, thanks for joining me.